a ton of guys that are on the internet in the red pill space that have said one thing, and what they say is not necessarily how they live. For example, you had the guy Fresh from Fresh and Fit. He was like, oh, don't pay thoughts and don't give women money and do all of this stuff. And then it was found out that not only was he giving the woman money, she claimed that she was pregnant. Now she turned around and said she wasn't pregnant anymore. And, you know, it was a whole fallout. It was a whole thing. But more often than not, the people that get up on the internet telling you one thing about women, they don't practice what they preach, whether it be Derrick Jackson, whether it be Fresh. And now it looks like Myron, for all of the quote unquote gold that he was giving men about how to deal with women, that's not even how he was living. But let's get this reporting from O'Shea, and then we're going to review it.
In the last 2 years, we got a chance to see a different side of Myron that we've never seen before. Don't get me wrong, he still goes hard on the left and on women, but there was a one special lady in his life that really took his heart, and her name was Angie, also known as Angelica. And once he fell in love with her, he was telling anybody who would listen how great of a girl she was.
I'm not sneaking around in my own house. My girl, my girl don't talk back to me. Like this whole situation, argue. There's no arguments. This is how it is. She packs my condoms when I travel. Huh? That's how real it is.
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
Sorry for her.
Yeah. And here's the thing. No. She lives a great life, and she's a beautiful girl. She's hotter than all the girls here. No offense.
Boy. And here's the thing. He didn't mind telling you how he could do everything in the relationship that he wanted to do while she had to stay there. But wait, there's more.
You know who's smart?
Real quick, I'm going to say that I agree with that. Not necessarily what he's doing, right? It doesn't matter whether I agree or not. But at least he's being upfront about it with the person that he's in a relationship with. He don't have to tell the rest of the world don't have to agree. But as long as the person that he's in a relationship with is okay with it and he's being honest with her. I was actually having a discussion a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about how a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm just going to cheat on my girl behind her back because I don't want to hurt her feelings. What do you think it's going to do when you get caught for cheating behind her back? It's going to hurt her feelings. So what a better option would be is to just tell her, hey, this is what I'm on, as Myron is saying that he did. But let's get back into this content.
My girlfriend is smart, man. Don DeMarco Frangiola.
Oh, he does have a girlfriend.
Yes, I do. And the thing is that, right, we don't argue. I do what the I want to do. She's loyal to me. It's monogamous on her end, open on my end. You know where she's at right now? She's hanging out with my parents up in Connecticut.
He also loved to talk about the fact that he could sleep with whoever he wants, and she is monogamous. I mean, she's a very pretty girl, so it seemed like he really had it on lock. Right?
So I'm not going to lie. When you have a woman on your arm, it's going to legitimize the thing that you're saying. So if he was up there on the Fresh and Fit podcast, preaching all of this stuff to a bunch of different men, and then he has a girlfriend, she looks good and she's doing everything that he said that she's doing, it legitimizes his platform. But when he loses that girlfriend, as it seems that that's the road that we're going down, it also makes it look like, hey, the things that you were saying, it kind of delegitimizes what he's saying, the things that he's been telling men to do, because he can't even sustain a relationship with her.
Rewind! It all started May 13th. Myron goes to New York City to cover the Diddy trial, and guess who comes with him? Angie. And everything is okay. They're hanging out. And while they're hanging out, something happens out of the blue.
Solo cast tomorrow? Yeah, Angie won't be here, unfortunately. I wish she was here, but she's got to leave.
Now, Angie can't stay because she has a rollerblading event. Now, she's a very, very serious rollerblader and loves it a lot. And look at what she posts. Get ready. Festival of the Year on Wheels is coming and you can't miss it. Come by bike, roller skates, skateboard, and whatever you like. The most important thing is that you live this weekend full of magic, incredible routes, and pure positive energy. So 17th and 18th of May in Orlando. So it appears that Myron's girlfriend, who is faithful to him and will never sleep with anybody else, will be there. And also they're going to be supporting women fighting breast cancer. Seems like the perfect girlfriend to me, right? Damn. Now this photo is her at the event. The getaway is there, and Angie seems to be just hanging out with some friends. Now all of these friends seem to be Hispanic, but then there is something interesting in the photo that we'll come back to later. Now Myron is in his home.
So I don't know what happened between them, but the first thing that, obviously they broke up, but the first thing I noticed is there's a bunch of dudes on this side and there's a bunch of women on this side. I don't know if he ended up saying something to her, like, why are you hanging out with them? Why are you so close to this dude?
Interesting in the photo that we'll come back to later. Now Myron is in his home, okay? Their relationship dynamic may have changed because Myron is no longer the same Myron that she probably met when Fresh and Fit podcasts were making a lot of money. Fresh and Fit, I believe, are still a podcast, but you know, Myron's doing his own individual thing and Fresh is doing his own individual thing. So in order for Myron to keep up and make money and do,
What I understand is they got demonetized on YouTube. They got demonetized on Twitch. They even got demonetized on Kick, I believe. And then they had to go to this thing called Rumble, which is like if you're on Rumble, you're deep in the trenches. You deep in the trenches if you're on Rumble. And I think that's where they are now doing their podcast, if they're still doing it.
things, he's working a lot harder now. And so he's arguing with people on the streets and things like that. And he's streaming a whole lot. And well, he mentioned something on June 13th that's pretty interesting.
I take that seriously, guys, and I've given up my social life to do so. I've been sitting inside. The only time I go outside, you guys want to know the truth? The painful truth? I only really go outside when I do the debates, man. If I'm be honest with you, bro. Like, I literally only go outside to do the debates. I barely leave my building. Because you guys know me, I'll work, bro. I'll give up my social life. I don't go. You know? Angie's very understanding. She takes Frank whenever I need him. She helps me with groceries. So Angie's very understanding. I haven't seen her in a bit. I'm not going to lie to you guys. She actually came by real quick when I was doing the table.
Now, this is a very interesting clip because he's saying that, you know, she's supportive. I haven't really seen her in a long time. She comes by and gives me food and groceries and things like that. But, you know, hey, it's, you know, things are kind of different now. All right. Then he goes on to Anton Daniels' show and he admits this just on June 24th.
When do you have time for a relationship?
You know, as of recently, man, it's been tough, bro. I'm not going to lie, man. It's been tough as of recently, especially the past year.
Most of the people that I know that are very successful, they don't focus on the relationship as much as they focus on what they feel like is necessary for them to do to win.
Oh, yeah. I'd be lying to you if I told you that my relationship was awesome and all that. No, man. Like, my social life, I had 100% transparent. Gone. Cooked. Finito.
Now he's saying.
That is true. When you're working on something, there's only 24 hours in the day. So I could see how he's like, yo, I'm working. I don't have the Fresh and Fit podcast that I was doing down in Miami. It's not making the money that it was. Cause I know they were trying to do like, oh, you got to pay $1,000 or $10,000 to get on this boat. They were trying to do like a bunch of stuff on the back end and the real world to make up for the money that they lost on YouTube and all those other social media platforms. So I can see what he's saying. Like, yo, you know, I had more time when I had more money, but now I actually have to put in more work. It's only 24 hours in a day. I don't really have time for a relationship. And my girl, she wants to go out. She wants to go skating or do whatever it is that we used to do, going on boats. But now I got to be online talking shit. I'm perpetually online. I got to do my research. I got to talk about these topics and I want to be well informed because as big as Myron is, if he says something that's not well researched or is illegitimate, people are going to come after him. So I see what he's saying, but you know, you can't have it all. That's something that we used to tell. That's something that he used to tell women. So he's seeing in his own life that is true for him too. Nobody can have it all. If there's 1,000 things to juggle, you're going to drop quite a few of them. And for him, it's his relationship. Or maybe she broke it off.
His social life is cooked. So, it's interesting because your girlfriend is somebody who likes to get outdoors. She's a rollerblader, but you're just in the house all day, arguing with people on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And you're just talking about, you know, everybody else instead of paying attention to the woman that you say is one of the best people you've ever met in your life. That's interesting for a man that praises this woman for being pretty much the best thing that's ever happened to him. I mean, he spends so much time talking about everybody else's woman.
Yeah, but she might be the best thing that happened to you, but are you the best thing that happened to her? You're espousing all this ideology, this red pill stuff, and it's cool when the money is coming in. Everybody is getting the women, getting the money, having their way with the world when they're the top athlete. And at one point, Myron was. But when you start losing all of that money, you start losing your leverage in a lot of cases. If your woman only respects you because you have money and you start losing that money, you lose your leverage in a relationship. So that's why you always got to lead with your personality. Money is important. I'm not ever telling anybody that get into a relationship and don't be worried about the money. That's stupid, right? But if you lead with the money, which I would say that Fresh and Fit definitely did, when that money starts to decrease or you can't do the things that you used to do or buy the things that you used to buy, your grip on that leverage that you had in a relationship, it starts to slip. And then you lose your hoe.
But his woman is perfect because, well, this is his first real girlfriend. But then it gets worse.
Do you have a missus? Do you have a girl?
That's irrelevant to the question.
No, like I just want to know context.
I'm asking you.
I want to get to know you.
That's irrelevant. We're having an objective discussion. Women that are sex workers.
Do you have
struggle.
a wife? Do you have a girlfriend? That's what I thought.
What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly. Like it just means like you can't even get it yourself. So like you are telling me I can't. Like what's that? I don't get that.
I want to know your argument first because that is like crazy, bro. Don't you have like a girlfriend or like a wife or something? Like somebody you
All right, bro.
appreciate?
We went over this a million times. Somebody else, because I don't want to
You really gonna
rehash
do
the
that,
same
bro?
argument again. Yeah. Somebody else.
So now,
When you're espousing like a misogynistic ideology and you don't have the things in your life to show that they work, it ruins your point. That's why he didn't want to admit, no, I don't got a girlfriend no more. Because then he doesn't have the same standing. He doesn't have the same legitimacy in his arguments.
in these debates, Myron has been asked pretty much like 3 times about his relationship status. He deflects when asked about these relationship statuses, which is interesting because this is the same guy that was just telling all of us, look, she's the best chick I've ever had. She packs my condoms. She's hanging out with my mom. Like, this is not our words. This is Myron's words. He's going around telling lady, anybody will listen that this is what is going on. But now he's refusing to answer these particular questions. But wait a minute. There's more.
That's actually where I'm going to end it. You guys can go check out the rest of O'Shea's video. He does a phenomenal work on the topics that he brings and the stories that he breaks and all of this stuff. So if you guys want to check it out, I will have O'Shea's video, the link to his video in the description. You guys let me know what you think. I think that Myron is perpetually online, especially now that the podcast has ended. He's got to do more research. You know, it's a little bit easier to talk about relationship stuff because we all every day deal with different people, deal with, significant others and people that we're dating. So when they were doing that content, it's a lot easier to source those conversations. But when you spin off and you have to look for other revenue sources and you're arguing other points, then it's a little more, you got to get a little more in depth with your research. So he's perpetually online. Shorty, she probably wanted to go out. She wanted to hang out. Myron's like, yo, if you want to have the same quality of life that you've been having, I got to work. So he's working. He can't do the things that she wants to do anymore. He can't go outside. He has to be in that basement or wherever he is. And that means being online a lot, talking about a lot of stuff that they probably never talked about before in their relationship. So it got a little harder and Shorty jumped ship. And, so he's not the first man to lose a girl that he was interested in. He's not going to be the last, but he has a big platform and he used that platform to spread a red pill and misogynistic ideology that he couldn't live up to.